Okay, Carl Edwards has joined us. Carl drives the number 99 Aflac Ford for Roush Fenway Racing. And Carl, you come in the racetrack you've had a lot of success at. And I know there's nothing more than you would like to do to post a win for the 99 Ford. And talk about your attempts to do that.
We started out great here so far. It looks like I'm not certain, but I think Greg and Matt and I might be 1, 2, 3 or something like that. We're all very fast in qualifying trim, so hopefully we can qualify well. I'm not sure if they're still giving away that shotgun for qualifying, but that would be it'd be really neat to win that. And I feel like we got a good draw and a good shot at it. I haven't run any race trim practice yet, but Greg and Matt did earlier in this practice, and they looked very fast. So hopefully we can come here and run like we've run here in the past. That'd be exactly what we need right now.
Questions for Carl? If you have one, raise your hand. We'll start here with Mike and then go over to Tom. Go ahead.
Mike Muller. Now, we asked Danica Patrick this. Of course, she drives Indy cars. Have you ever driven an Indy car, and would you be interested in doing the double? Obviously, you're in good enough physical shape to where you could do it, and from what Tony found out, you've got to be really physically strong to do that.
Yeah, I think I've talked to a couple of the IndyCar guys just very briefly about what it's like to drive those cars. And I think that I would love to be able to do it. That'd be a great challenge. It'd be something that I think would be a lot of fun. But I don't think that it would be smart for a guy like myself to go over and just try to run that one race. I think you'd want to go test and do all that stuff. But if it were possible, and if I had already won a Cup championship, if there was no risk of messing up my season with injury or something like that, then I would definitely jump at the chance to do it. That'd be something I'd love to do.
Go ahead, Tom.
Carl, Tom Jensen, Speed.com. Toward the end of the regular season, you guys picked it way up.
Yeah.
You started off slow, running real good at the end of the regular season. Are you surprised that Roush Fenway as a group isn't higher up in the points now? And have you identified anything that's the reason for that?
Well, the biggest thing is that our performance has not been where it needs to be. I mean, we ran really well there for a stretch, but we still have yet to have dominant race cars, and that's what in this sport you have to have very fast race cars to make up for the days like we had at California. If you take California out of the mix and you say, if you would have just put us in our average finishing position at California, I think we'd be 100 points higher or something like that. As a group, I think everybody would be 100, 120 points higher. So in general, I feel like we're doing a very good job with what we have at the racetrack, and we're slowly trying to make that performance of the car a little better. And if we can do that, we'll be good. But I think gone are the days where you find a big advantage and you just go out and dominate. If you watch what's going on right now, it's just who runs really well and then doesn't have any trouble. That's the key. So I don't know if I'm answering your question, but that's kind of where, in my head, where I see it, that if we can just run a little better and have some good luck, we'll be all right. But you can't run like we're running, have a little bit of bad luck, and expect to be in the top 2 or 3 in points.
Thank you.
Question back here with Don. Where's the mic? Krista, if you could get over to Don, that'd be good, and then we'll move over here to Mr. Garrow. Go ahead.
Yeah, Carl, it's Don Coble with Morris News Service. In this day, in this economy, do you, as an organization, do you find Jack and the drivers to be a little more willing to accept sponsorships from people that probably 5 years ago you would not have considered? And are there companies that have asked you to be personally involved that you just said, I'm sorry, I just, I couldn't imagine Krispy Kreme. I couldn't imagine you being a spokesman for Krispy Kreme with how fit you are. You know what I mean? Something like that.
So what exactly is your question? I'm sorry.
Are there sponsorships that you may take now that you wouldn't have done 5 years ago? And you personally, are there sponsorship deals that you turn down because they just don't match who you are or what you want to represent?
I think everybody in the sport has had proposals that have come by that you say, I don't think that fits my our brand as a team or my a personal brand of a driver or something like that. But and I've been very fortunate to represent folks that that make products or deliver services that I believe in, and yeah, there have been sponsors that I've just said, hey, I'd rather not participate in that. But I don't know. I don't know if that, for me personally, that's really important. I don't know if that would really change this for me, considering the economy. But I haven't got to. We're not at that point. I feel like we still have a really healthy group of sponsors. I think the thing that we talked about at Charlotte with Avon coming on, that's somebody that is right now is outside of the sport, looks at our sport and says, hey, this would be the right place for us to be. And I think that's a good thing. That's a good sign. And with what's going on with the recent elections and the stock market and all of that, I think that big business is, they're seeing a little more sunshine. And but yeah, for us, like I said, we haven't got to that point yet. I feel like I can, the sponsors I have, I believe in, and I don't feel like I have to compromise my my integrity or anything to do something I wouldn't normally do.
Let's go with Mark, and then we'll go over here to Bruce.
I can repeat it if you want.
Go ahead.
It's working. There it is. I thought. How do you see this thing playing out? You get 3 guys, 38 points separating. You race with them every week. You've seen the past history, what Jimmy's done. Do you think Danny or Kevin have a chance? How do you see this playing out?
I don't think anyone could predict how this is going to end. It's too close right now between those guys, and past history would say that Jimmy will probably pull it off, but I think Denny still has more wins than anybody, and he's done a really good job. I think he won this race in the spring, right? And Phoenix is one of his best tracks, and Homestead could go. Nobody knows what's going to happen at Homestead. We're going to be running in the daytime, which will be a little bit different. So I think it's up in the air. I think it's going to come down to who makes a mistake or who has a part failure or something. I think it could come down to the last lap of the race at Homestead, which would be pretty cool, I think.
Go ahead, Bruce.
Bruce Martin with SportsIllustrated.com. Carl, do you kind of look at Denny Hamlin as kind of like a throwback type driver? He is a guy that kind of came from a traditional Southern late model sportsman route to get here. A lot of drivers such as yourselves took a different route, and do you kind of look at him as kind of one of the more traditional Southern type drivers?
I don't know. I don't know enough about Denny's how he grew up racing or him personally. I don't know enough about him to really kind of put him in a group or label him as something. But he's a good race car driver. He drives his heart out. So, but yeah, I don't know exactly where he came from. I know he raced late models and things like that there in the Richmond area. But that's kind of the extent of what I know about him.
Next question for Carl. Who has it? Go ahead, Mike.
Mike Muller, MikeMuller.net. You mentioned the election the other day, and you're sort of polished like Jeff Burton is. Have you ever thought about running for office? Or
No way.
You don't? You
no
right on
way.
the stump. I mean, you can talk and you do backflips,
I've spent enough time in Washington to know that job is way, way, way too scary for me. There's no way I could do that.
Not even at the local level, like mayor or something like that?
No, I don't. What I know about politics is that just the little bit I know about it, that just seems like it'd be the toughest job there could be. I don't want any part in that. I did run for class, president one time, and no, I did not. Well, I did all right in elementary school, but I didn't do very well in high school. So I think it was more of a joke, but I couldn't do that. No way. Does Jeff still talk about doing that? Yeah. No. No. Yeah, right. Vote Carl. Free candy. That's a good one.
Next question for Carl. Nate has one right here, Krista.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. I guess we're still waiting for the official announcement on what's going to happen Cup drivers and nationwide. But It sounds like maybe one of the things they're floating now is maybe allowing Cup guys to run the races without being able to race for the championship. Have you heard anything more? Or?
Yeah, what have you heard? I haven't heard anything for a month or so.
That's all I've heard.
So what was that exactly?
So that like Cup drivers could run the schedule, but they couldn't run for the championship.
Okay. I don't know.
You haven't heard anything?
I know. I hope we can run for the championship, but I'm kind of a principle-based person. I think that it seems odd to make rules that keep certain drivers out based on where they race or something. I mean, and I always think back to if I wanted to go race at my local dirt track or something, they don't treat me any differently, you know. And right now I'm not, you know, I mean, Brad's doing very well. But I mean, I'm not dominating or anything like that. So I hope we can run for it. I hope we can just do what's been done historically. And to me, the greatest achievement in NASCAR would still be able to, you know, would be winning both championships in 1 year. That would be spectacular. So to me, it's fun just to have that opportunity. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but that's a neat opportunity. I've committed to running the full thing, but I'm doing that under the I'm going at it like I can run for the championship, and I believe my sponsors are too. So, you know, I don't know exactly how all of it's going to work out. You know, I think I might be the only full-time Cup guy potentially doing it. Have you guys? Do you know? Is Brad going to do it again, or Kyle or anybody? Is he the same way? Okay. Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to go do it again, but I just don't know what's going to happen. It's kind of funny how nobody's saying anything about it. It would be really nice to know, you know. Yeah, it's kind of gone away.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Jeff Hood of RacingToday.com. Carl, what are your thoughts on Trevor Bayne coming over to the Ford camp a few weeks ago and with him jumping in the 21 Cup car this weekend?
Yeah, how did he end up in practice? Anybody?
16.
Trevor's running pretty well. And I noticed when I went over to sign in this morning, Trevor's name was it looked like he might have been the first guy to sign in on the Cup sign-in sheet, which you can tell he's ready to go. And I think he's a great guy. I'm really glad he came over here. I think he'll help our team. I think that he's good enough that he could be the part of the future of Roush Fenway Racing. So hopefully he has success like he should. And I think running this Cup car will help him. I think the more he can run the Cup car, the better off he'll be in the Nationwide car. I think it'll raise his game, and that's always good. It helped me a lot to run the Cup car. When I started running, I think it changed the way I drove in the other series.
Any additional questions for Carl? Carl, thanks for coming in, and good luck this weekend.
All right, thanks a lot. Remember, vote Carl, free candy. All right, that's the deal.